your arms.
Get on the ground! Block it in, block it in, block it in. He's now off in the field.
Derbyshire's traffic cops.
It's 165. I'm going to try and keep up with it.
Battling crime in the middle of the country.
Open the door now! He smashed down a bollard.
He's down now.
I ain't done nothing.
From the picturesque peaks
Vehicle RTC.
Treating it as life-threatening.
to the inner cities.
Yeah, it's done me.
This side, this side. He's going to decamp.
It's a decamp, 4 runners.
Under threat
You do what I tell you. Do not put your hands anywhere near your pockets.
and at risk.
Box on. We're on 2 traffic cars now.
Around every corner,
Don't
forget there's a new challenge
Hands on the wall!
for the traffic cops. Coming up,
He's now overtaking wrong side of the road.
bank holiday boozing
He's collided.
puts lives at risk.
That's some of the worst driving I've ever seen.
He's now off in the field.
It's tested positive for cocaine.
Can't stand up.
Officers take the hard line
He's absolutely hammered.
Yeah, he was that drunk, he's not been breathalyzed.
with the dangerous
I have a feeling it will filter still.
How much have you had to drink?
and those refusing to face the truth.
No, I've not. I've just been sat
No, you've not. I've just seen you drive the bloody car.
Come here, mate. I'm not finished with you, pal.
And there's car park chaos when a desperate suspect
Down on the floor.
tries to flee a test.
Derbyshire Police, how can I help?
Oscar Tango 25, we've had a report of a possible drink driver.
Across Derbyshire, during the bank holidays, police receive hundreds of reports a day involving alcohol and drugs.
Okay, leave it with us, we'll get officers out of there.
My personal feelings on drink drivers, they are the lowest of the low. So it's my job to take them off the road.
90 minutes into what's expected to be a busy 12-hour night shift, the traffic cops are spread out across the force area.
It's going to be busy.
Traffic cop Jim Payne is 10 miles south of Derby, looking for drivers under the influence.
I'll often position the vehicle out of view of them until they're passing me.
It's not long before a silver Citroën Picasso catches his attention.
Sometimes it's down to old-fashioned police and you look at a vehicle and you realise that something's not quite right with it.
An A from Oscar Tango 14, just in relation to my permissions, I'm in a marked road policing vehicle. Intention at the minute is just to follow while everybody's driving normally. I'm directly behind the vehicle, so he's obviously aware of my presence.
As soon as I put the lights on, I had this feeling that this is going to be the point that this vehicle's going to go.
So I'm in a marked road policing vehicle, pursuit management trained.
The cars continued, but not really drove that much quicker.
It's took a left, possibly to try and evade me.
The Citroën turns off the main roads, forcing Jim to slow down.
The cars continued just to get that bit ahead and managed to pull out of sight.
As the suspect speeds away,
Yeah, vehicles hit the ANPR camera.
control alerts traffic cop Matt Copestake to the location of the suspect's car.
Traffic is moderate. Road surface is dry.
Unfortunately for the subject, I'd been round that area for the last hour.
Now directly behind the vehicle. Speed is 40. It's now overtaking on the wrong side of the road. DRA medium back to low. 3 occupants, 1 male driver, female front seat passenger. Right now.
The adrenaline's going, you're constantly looking round for and risk assessing.
Bretby Lane.
As the suspect fails to stop, Matt follows him into a residential area.
It's a big concern about what lies ahead. You're thinking about pedestrians on the road, kids out playing on the streets, other road users.
It's now wrong side of the roundabout, DRA high.
At that moment, obviously what's going through your mind is this guy's prepared to do anything to get away.
50 miles an hour. It's Bretby Lane. Back towards Repton. Speed is 70. Enters the Nationals. Continues 70.
Leaving the built-up area, the driver takes to country lanes.
Road users, DRA low.
Now that presents a risk in itself because you can't see what's coming round the bend, and the width of the roads are constantly changing from narrow single track into areas where you can fit 2 cars.
It's heavy on the brakes, speed 60. So right, back towards Hartshawn. He's now overtaking wrong side of the road. He's collided. Is a box van. He still continues though.
That's some of the worst driving I've ever seen. He had no business even attempting that overtake. It was clear he was going to run out of road, and I think he was very, very lucky not to injure himself or someone else.
He still continues. It was a side swipe to the near side. He's got extensive near side damage.
Anyone would think that that would be enough to stop any driver from continuing, but he put his foot down and tried to get away with half of his car missing.
It's a single track road. Extensive near side damage.
After 20 minutes, the pursuit has come full circle, with the driver back where he was first seen.
Approaching junction standby. He's right.
In my experience, people who are trying to get away from the police always head to areas they know.
Still on unnamed road. Expecting he's going to come out on the main Hartshawn Ticknell Road.
It's better for them if they know the roads and what twists and turns it's got in store for us.
Back Repton Road. I believe we're back towards Bretby. Continues Repton Road. Speed is 50 in the National. Yeah, the driving's erratic round these corners. I'm just giving him some room. Speed 60 in the Nationals. Heavy braking round offside bend. Yeah, he's losing control a bit now, just backing off, giving him room. Entering Bretby again now.
Continuing to drive around in circles, the suspect goes off-road again, up the same track as earlier.
He's now off in a field.
Coming up,
Driving it like this?
the Picasso driver tries to make a run for it across a field.
Driver's already gone to custody.
Come here, mate, I'm not finished with you, pal.
A tip-off ends in a car park foot chase.
What was that all about then, pal?
Exterior lights on.
And a drink driver putting lives at risk.
Right. Can't stand up.
It's absolutely hammered. He's now overtaking wrong side of the road.
After a 25-minute chase along country lanes during a busy bank holiday weekend,
It was a side swipe to the near side. He's got extensive near side damage.
a failed-to-stop Picasso driver tried to escape traffic cop Matt Copestake
He's now off in a field.
before losing control and crashing.
The driver then opened the door and ran out into this field where we detained him.
Driver's already gone to custody. He blew 55.
The suspect is denying he was driving the car,
You're driving it like this?
while the traffic cops recover the Picasso.
Hold on, I'll put this quarter pan on.
PC Paul Barker will interview the passengers to find out who was driving.
Where are the passengers now? They're gone.
No, passengers over here.
Right, okay. Come over here, mate. What time did he pick you up? What time did he pick you up? 5.
And he was all right. He was speaking like everything was normal. And then you guys, one of the cars come behind us, and he started panicking. And then he just says, "Don't worry." And then next minute, wham.
So I started to panic, and we said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "Don't worry." And then he started to drive fast.
I've never experienced this. We're lucky to be alive, to be fair, to be honest.
Right, if you can just squiggle in that little grey box there. That's it. Okay, you can go. Go. Jed, yeah?
Yeah.
Not that far away anyway. All right.
The passenger is free to go, but the suspect will remain in custody to be questioned.
In my opinion, he's taken off because he believed he was over the limit for drinking and driving, and also he was a disqualified driver, so he obviously had a lot to hide. The fact that he's driven at those speeds and failing to stop for the police or during a pursuit whilst drunk is just beggars belief.
It's a busy bank holiday and calls are piling up in force control.
Yeah, you're through to the police. What's happening?
A tip-off from the public has come in about a suspected drink driver.
Okay, leave it with us. We've got officers travelling too. You're okay.
Yeah, 16, I'm going to be coming along from Whittle. Yeah, it's your Mercedes.
Traffic cop Matt Copestake is responding.
What's the reg? Right, there's a potential drink driver in Stoke in Derby, which is just the other side of where we are. Just about to leave store in a white Mercedes. Apparently can't walk straight. So we're going to try and intercept him before he does some damage.
Tip-offs from the public are quite common. It can be quite rare to get in the situation where there's one about to leave. It's crucial that we get there before he leaves so we can detain him.
Still on the phone, the mail's still in the store apparently. He's going to come out there, but there is another entrance if he decides to go the other way. From 16, I've got eyeball on the exit if he comes this way, and then if other units can plot up Queen's Way. We've got it all covered now.
I've got that entrance covered, mate, in behind the trees. Where you come out from the thing.
Nice one. There's a local and me covering this exit, so he's got to come past one of us.
Lovely.
I don't know why people do drink driving. It's a despicable thing to do. You're not in your right mind if you get behind the wheel of a car when you're drunk. Unfortunately, on the roads policing unit, we see the extreme consequences of what happens when people get behind the wheel when they've had a drink. And it devastates lives, unfortunately. Do you monitor that right, T?
On the other side of the car park, traffic cop Andy Wright has stopped the suspect driver.
Coming in now, mate. He's in car park. He's tried to exit out there and then he's reversed back into the car park. 1686 now.
What are you doing? What are you doing in that? Driving. Don't move over till I tell you. It's not going anywhere. Is it your car? Okay. Brother's car.
All right. Yeah. Just sit tight till we're finished with him. All right.
Got the identification on your truck. Right, nice deep breath, blow continuously hard, don't stop till I say stop, and you hear it click. Okay? Now, parked up on the specimen correct from you. If you fail or refuse, it's effective to be arrested and prosecuted for. Nice deep breath. Blow, 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 blow. Stop. Thank you. Have you had anything else at all?
We'll get a wipe, mate. He's passed his breath test, so we're just going to do a drug wipe on him. He does seem quite intoxicated. Hopefully not keep you much longer, mate. Hopefully not keep you much longer. All right. Come here, mate. I'm not finished with you, pal. Get here. Get down on the floor! Get down now!
I ain't done nothing! Put your face down!
Face down now!
Oh, what have I done? What have I done?
Boys, live! Go wild!
Put your arm around your back. Put your other arm around your back. Just relax. Put your other arm around your back.
Roll over. Get your other arm out.
Behind your back.
Other arm now.
Behind your back. Come on.
What have I done?
Just relax your arm.
Come on, pal. That's it.
Relax.
Right. Sit you up, mate. What was that all about then, pal?
He's off the steps.
Oh, I ain't, mate.
Yeah, mate. Stay sat down.
Just relax yourself. Stay
Mate, I'm not.
Right, mate, I'm going to perform a drug wipe on you, all right? Failure to do so is an offence for which you'll be arrested, all right? Open your mouth for me. Open your mouth wider. Do your cheek and your other cheek.
Right, we'll lift you up. Stand up. Can you put your legs underneath yourself? Push yourself up, please.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stand up.
Stand up.
Right, I'm going to get you in my car.
Can you put him on the back or?
Yeah, absolutely. Sit in there, mate. Sit in. Whose car is it then, that?
My brother.
Your brother's? Are you insured on it?
Yeah.
What are you running for then?
I was missing a lot.
What else you had?
Nothing.
Well, it'll show up on here, won't
What
it?
you see?
Yeah, it's blown 0, mate.
Blown 0?
Yeah.
Right. Local transport should it be?
Okay, lovely.
What do you mean? What am I doing? So what was you waiting for then?
You seem under the influence or something, okay? So you've passed your breath test.
Well,
so I suspect.
I seem under the influence of something. I ain't seen you.
Because you're slurring your words.
What, to who?
To me now.
No, so why was
Right
you waiting in the first place?
Right now.
Why
Okay.
was you waiting in the first place?
Incident reported.
On what?
There may be an intoxicated male driving your car. So that's why we've stopped you. So you've passed your breath test, but I'm of the opinion you're under the influence of something. So I performed a drug wipe on you. So it's very much like a pregnancy test. So it's taken a saliva sample of him and it tests for cannabis or cocaine. If another line comes up in either of the windows, we have a positive test for either of those substances. Faint line, mate, but it's there. I'm happy.
Very faint medications.
Yeah. He provided a positive drug wipe. It's tested positive for cocaine. All right. So at this time you're under arrest on suspicion of driving whilst over the prescribed limit of a controlled drug, namely cocaine. You're going to be taken to cells where you'll be asked to provide a blood sample. All right. Can you take him in and I'll follow you down? All right.
Come on, then we'll get you in this car.
Follow you straight down. Cheers, mate. It's the faintest of lines, but it's there, and it's just give us that indication that he's had something. So. Right, I'll take your cuffs off, mate. Keep your hands where I can see them. He's been stopped driving a white Mercedes, exiting car park by my colleague, exited from the driver's seat. He's provided a positive drug wipe indicating cocaine in his system. He's been arrested to allow prompt and effective investigation and secure and preserve evidence.
Matt needs the man to take a blood test to prove if he's over the limit for drugs.
Right, I'm just going to have to go through these forms with you and then we'll crack on, all right, yeah?
He wants to establish if the suspect has any other substances in his system that may affect the blood test.
Are you currently taking or using any drugs or medication prescribed or supplied to you for medicinal or dental purposes? Even with prescription medication, it is very much like the drink-drive limit, as there is a limit to how much you can have in your bloodstream to still be legal to drive.
There weren't even a positive test. There weren't even a line there. Where, can you show me it?
There was, mate.
Can I see it, please?
You can in a bit, yeah.
I'd like to have a look.
Faintest of lines in
I'd
the
like to have a
cocaine.
look.
You can have a look, it's fine.
There's a faint line, not a negative.
The fact that there's a line there, don't matter how faint it is.
Line,
Controlled line were there.
And then there's another line.
Yeah.
If it's faint, it's negative.
It's not. If it's listen, if it's negative, there's no line at all.
No.
There's no significance to the fact that it was a faint line. It's an indication whether it's a strong line or a faint line. Are you ready? It could be just that the chemicals haven't reacted as strongly in the drug wipe itself.
Can't
Right, listen. It indicates that you may have cocaine in your system. It's not 100% accurate, so the blood sample will determine whether you have. So if you think I've come here for no reason with you, you're very much mistaken. All right? So we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for your time. See you later.
Thanks for sticking that needle about 6 inches up your arm.
Right, just stand here a minute, mate. I'm just going to build the offence, Joe, and then he's ready to go. Yeah, we've obtained a blood sample now, so that's going to be sent away for forensic analysis to see if he's got any substances in his system.
Thank you very much.
I shall show you out then.
Yes, the hospitality.
This way.
Cheers.
As a roads policing officer, drink and drugs are the bread and butter of what we do. It impairs people's driving at the end of the day, and they shouldn't be on the road.
Coming up, bank holiday drink drivers cause danger on the roads.
He's an absolute shit-face.
What is the alleged offence?
And refuse to face the truth.
Failed to provide.
Failed to provide. I blew into the tube.
He's all over the road.
What's the reg, please? What's the reg, please?
I don't want to get that close, to be honest.
It's a busy bank holiday, and a 999 call has come in from a member of the public about a suspected drink driver.
And he's been driving on the hard shoulder, yeah?
Well, he's in the inside lane, but he keeps swerving all over everywhere.
30 miles from the centre of Derby, traffic cop Andy Wright is looking for the car.
Blue car, BW Golf, grey.
There used to be a witching hour when the pubs finished at 11. Nightclubs would be kicking out at 2. Now it's drinking as and when. Then, yeah, you can get your witching hours out all over the time.
The driver looks like he may have had an accident.
Along with other units, Andy parks up by the dual carriageway.
Right, I'm off the roundabout on that first T-junction. What I'll do is, if he comes, I'll shout him out on 90. And then if it fails to stop, I'll switch straight to channel 2. Yeah, 1812. Any time now, any time now.
Moments later, Andy spots the suspect driver.
I'll be on this vehicle now. Yeah, he's all over the place. Reading from lane to lane. Interior lights on. One there. Still weeping all over the carriageway. I have a feeling it will fail to stop. Just go past the lay-by proprietary junction still on the near side. Speed increase now to 50. Not putting any pressure on the vehicle. I'll wait till I've got everybody else with us.
Just behind Andy, another unit is in position to help surround the car and box it to a stop.
Practicing management trademark vehicle, stop. Don't put stop in. Lock his finger out, don't stop.
At force control, a senior officer assesses the risk of the pursuit.
Hang on, and ECO1. I'm aware of this now. Happy with what the plan is. Continue to stand by for anything further. Just in addition, if it does fail to stop, you are initially authorised to pursue and tactics. Just keep you up to date if it's not happening. Yeah, 450s are probably joking us a little bit with speed increase and then dropping from a weaving from lane 1 to 2.
They'll know that he now has got a marked police vehicle behind him. I'm thinking, is he goading me? What is he trying to do?
Further up the road, traffic cop Paul Barker is ready to join the pursuit.
The driver possibly going to be coming off back that way, but you never know, he might come off here, he might carry on if he's that pissed. There he is.
Paul drops in behind to hold the traffic back.
Tango 31 in the stick. Unmarked high performance vehicle, pursuit management train.
Speed now increased. 60. Using the centre lane, 3. Right, let's get it on then and get it in the search.
Right, your safety's on.
Follow me, son.
While Paul keeps his colleague safe, Andy steers the suspect off the motorway.
Yeah, I've got him to follow you now. Watching, he's absolute shit-faced. Yeah, vehicle's heading towards the services now. Looks like he's took the bait. There's one person in it. I just want to get him beyond this curve here so he can't slip him back out. Yeah. Vehicle stop. Lovely, thank you.
Put your hands out, just chill out, alright, just relax. Just chill, mate. Alright, you're alright, you good? Yeah.
He was absolutely hammered. He just looked at me with like a dazed look, not believing what was happening. There was a vodka bottle on the floor, there was cans all over it. He absolutely stank of it.
Under arrest, section 4 of the Road Traffic Act. Okay, you don't have to say anything. May harm the offence, not mention in question. Something which relates to a line of call. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Okay, the rest is necessary to our prompt investigation. Alright, swing your legs round.
Special damage to the car, can't open the door.
Yeah.
Have you got a driving licence? Yeah.
Jump up, mate.
She's coming out.
Jump in, mate, relax. Have you got anything on you that you shouldn't have? Have you got anything in your pockets that you shouldn't have? No. Drugs, weapons, knives, anything like that? Yeah, I've got that. Got his phone handy, put it on front seat.
Yeah, seriously. You can't stand up.
He's absolutely hammered.
Yeah, alright. Okay.
As the driver is taken to the police station, traffic cop Paul Barker continues the search for more bank holiday drink drivers.
He was that drunk that he's not been breathalyzed. He's been arrested for being driving whilst unfit. I don't think he's failed to stop. I just think he's that drunk that he doesn't realise what's happening.
Early hours of the night shift tend to be looking for drink drivers going home from parties. They tend to think that if they leave it a bit longer, they might sober up, or we won't be looking for them.
It's not long before Paul spots a car in the middle of the road.
NA Oscar Tango Sierra 1 for 1015 vehicle, please.
Put the blue lights on, and it just carried on up the road and pulled to the offside.
Hello?
Hello, darling. You alright?
How much have you had to drink? Not a lot. Hey? Step out for us. Come and take a seat in my car for me, please. Come on, Ducky. You got your car keys?
No, I've not. I've just been stuck.
No, you've not. I've just seen you driving the bloody car. Right. You've had too much to drink, haven't you? Hey? So, you're under arrest on suspicion of driving a motor vehicle whilst unfit through drink or drugs. Okay, you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. You won't mention when questioned something which you later on in court anything you say may be in evidence. Okay, necessary for a very prompt and effective investigation, and so you don't disappear. Okay, come and take a seat in the back of my car.
What am I doing?
Okay. All right. And a Tango Sierra 1. One detained at my location for excess alcohol.
What are you doing with me?
We're going to go down to the Ripley police station.
Why? Please don't do that to me. I just want to go home to my daughter.
When we go down to the police station, listen to me. When we get down to the police station, you take another test, okay? And depending on what that test says, okay, depends on what's going to happen. Okay.
That's fair enough, but I'm just tired. I just want to go home.
Oh, it's all right. Are you allowed to drive that vehicle?
Yes, of course I am.
Right, okay. Right, I've explained to you.
Where are you taking me?
To the police station, you know where...
Why?
Can I explain to you, because you're under arrest for driving a motor vehicle whilst unfit?
I didn't drive it.
Okay, well that's...
I didn't drive that motor vehicle.
Okay, well, I followed you.
I went to the motor vehicle to get some sugar.
Well, I know you're lying, so...
33 years of doing this, nothing surprises me with people. They'll look you in the face and they'll lie to you.
I don't understand why I'm
I've explained it to you. I don't know how many times I need to explain it to you.
I haven't drove that vehicle.
Okay.
While Paul prepares to check the female in for a breath test, 10 miles away at the police station in Derby,
How are you?
traffic cop Andy Wright is dealing with the man he arrested for drink driving earlier.
First of all, what's your name?
You're switch it to the jeans something.
Okay.
I'm just having a breathalyzer.
That's right, yeah.
The system is still on.
That's what we're doing, mate. We're having a breathalyzer. Okay, put your shoes back on.
You can read a book called The Code of Practice, which tells you about our policies and procedures and how we have to look after you. That's
You
the best-
guys have to.
Seat for me there. If you fail to provide, you will definitely commit an offence. By providing, you at least got a chance. Stand up for me then, please. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's it, first one, done. Take a seat a minute. So this is your second one. You've just got to do the exact same thing again. Big deep breath. Keep going, keep going. That's it. You're blowing 112 and 116. The legal limit being 35, so that is a fail.
To be on the road in that state, he could have killed anybody. He could have hit anything and he probably wouldn't have even known. He shouldn't be on the road. He should be banned for life, really.
Further authorising your detention at the police station until you're at a level that we're satisfied you're fit to be able to charge.
No. I need to go home and sleep.
You can't. You're going to have to sleep here. Listen.
I am sober.
No, you know, you've blown 100 and something. That's very drunk. And everything else says you're very drunk, so you've got to stay here until you're sober enough to be dealt with. All right?
For the suspect,
See you in a minute.
it's a night in the cells to sober up. For traffic cop Paul Barker, he's now booking in the third drink driver of the shift.
She's claiming she wasn't driving. Just come on, out you come.
It's a bit much, guys, to say that I just went to stick up my car for a
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Please can you undo me?
There you go. I don't like liars. Come on. This lady was followed along the main road, eliminated the blue lights, eventually stopped. I got out of the vehicle and found her sat in the driver's seat. Asked to exit the vehicle.
Yeah, but one there was that the engine was on.
I formed the opinion that she was drunk. She was arrested for driving whilst unfit through drink.
Moving forward, what's going to happen for me?
Necessity being prompt and effective investigation to stop her disappearing.
Right, fair enough. You've handcuffed me, you've brought me here, so now can I go and go to bed? Moving forward, what is the offence here? Can I go home and go to bed?
You'll be offered the opportunity to provide two specimens.
That's fine, but I've not driven my car.
Will be explained to you, okay?
I've not driven my car, so it's fine. Can I have a cigarette, please?
No. What's your date of birth,
For
please?
what reason?
What's your date of birth, please?
What reason am I not allowed to smoke?
You're not allowed to smoke in here. What's your
So can I go outside and have a
No,
cigarette?
not
Can I
yet.
force myself to you?
No. It is difficult dealing with people that are under the influence of drink or drugs. They're repeating stuff and you're having to repeat things while you're arrested and things like that. It just gets to a stage where you don't really want to talk to them anymore. Have you taken any drug or medication since your last driving?
I've had no drugs or medication.
No. Eaten anything?
I don't understand what you're asking me. What is the alleged offence? What's the alleged offence?
If the driver doesn't give a breath test now, she could be automatically banned.
Just sit your bum down. Just relax. I've been doing this job 16 years. You don't want to have a drink of water because it'll affect that breathing. It won't do you any favours. I'm not playing a game with you and I'm not bartering with you.
In the toxilizer room, she's argued and argued and argued, just like she was at the front desk. And eventually, she tried to blow, but didn't have enough time. Therefore, it's timed out and we won't prefer to argue with her anymore. So she'll get charged with failing to provide.
So what's happening now?
Go in front of the sergeant, explain that you've not given two samples of breath. Go down there. Failed to provide.
I didn't fail to provide a cheap though.
Despite the woman's protests, because she's too drunk to drive, she won't be going home.
The cell that you're going into, unfortunately, we're full tomorrow.
Why am I going into a cell?
So there's no toilet in your cell. There's a buzzer. If you move the toilet in, press the buzzer. Okay.
Go in the room now.
I don't feel my time's been wasted dealing with these people because I know I'll get a conviction at the end of the day and get them off the road because obviously she's a menace to society by the way that she drives.
Coming up.
Yeah, I've just been hit by your drunk driver.
It's a race against time to catch another suspected bank holiday drink driver.
When? Well, you've been involved in a collision.
Who's fled from a collision.
You're telling me a few white lies and you have actually been out in your car.
I am not telling you no white lies.
Hello, this is Derbyshire Police.
Police emergency.
What's happening there?
It's nearly the end of a bank holiday, but there are more calls coming in about drink drivers.
Right, okay, whereabouts? Right, listen to me, whereabouts are you?
Police emergency. Yeah, I've just been hit by your drunk driver.
How do you know they were drunk?
Because I can smell his breath.
Yeah.
And when I said that actually we can smell alcohol, he said, I've had a drink.
Is he still there now?
Got in his car and drove off. He's got the reg, so...
An officer's been allocated. I've put that on the incident. We'll also have his details as well.
So with RTCs like this, you don't really know what you're going to.
Traffic cop Carl Jackson responds to the call.
My immediate concern is I need to try and locate him. The obvious place to go is their home address.
Yeah, I've got PNC details of the keeper of that vehicle. I'm free to pass them.
We're only a short distance from that.
I need an officer to go to the scene of the collision so I could deal with suspected drink driver.
Yeah, where exactly is this collision?
Traffic cop Adam Shipley is on hand to assist.
I believe it's just the traffic light. It's a BMW.
As soon as somebody leaves the scene of a collision without giving any details, we start assuming that they've done something wrong. We need to get to the bottom of that and find out why they've left.
Is your car drivable? Or? Yeah. What's actually the damage to it? Is it just pretty much... So he won't have much damage to his car then? Has he gone into the back of you?
He's gone into the back. So
Yeah.
if you look at the front of his bumper on the front of his car, you can see there's a black section, that's all.
Right. Yeah, I'll take a picture of the damage and everything.
Whilst Adam gathers more evidence from the scene, Carl is with the suspect driver at his house.
Yes. You've been involved in a collision, but you've left the scene. I need to do a few checks with you.
When?
When? Well, you've been involved in a collision, your vehicle.
I've been at home all day.
OK, well, that's not what I've been told. Obviously, you've got a can in your hand now, so just come with me.
I find it very frustrating that people can't sort of hold their hands up and admit to the fact that they've done it. And the reason for that is they've got a lot to lose, haven't they? Driving licence will be gone.
Well, let's walk just through here.
Yeah.
But people know that before they sit behind the wheel of a car when they're drunk, but they still risk it.
And as Tango 27, I just got to wait a few minutes to do the test as he was sipping a can when I got to him. Probably had a mouthful out of it, which is all that I've had time to do prior to coming back. He's an iron bin out in his car.
Gone to the address, bloke's there. I think it's fair to say that he's going to be over the limit from what my colleague said. Not breathalyse him yet, but he's denying driving.
It's a bank holiday, mate. I'm going to be drunk.
Well, I'm not drunk.
I don't work.
OK.
Do you put my race down, right?
Well, it's the same car. Now, either it's one hell of an unlucky day and a bit of a strange coincidence and you're completely innocent, or you're telling me a few white lies and you have actually been out in your car.
I am not telling you no white lies.
Your engine's warm. Take a deep breath for me, please.
It's frustrating that people lie because it's as if they think I'm stupid. I'm not just going to randomly turn up at someone's door and accuse them of drink driving with no evidence. Doesn't work like that, does it?
So you've blown 91,
yep.
Which is very high,
yep.
And so you have failed the breath test. So because of that, you are now under arrest.
Can you actually describe him at all to me, or...?
He's probably about my height, thin build.
And had jeans on.
I can't remember what colour top he had on.
Cool. What sort of age?
50s?
It's
Yeah.
50s. Oscar Tango 27 from 30.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you free to speak, mate?
Yes, yes. He's under arrest. 91.
Yeah, nice work. Just a brief update from scene. Driver's describes, if you're ready. I'm sure he's going to match description, just to confirm.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, male, probably in his 50s, about 5'8"-ish, slim build and blue jeans.
Yeah, that describes perfectly. Put some bracelets on you.
This is shocking.
It's not shocking.
I have done nothing wrong.
He's denying driving at all, so now we have to prove that he was. He's already admitted to me that it's his car and he's the only person insured to drive it. And he's the only person with keys to it, so if he can see it out driving, then that's strong evidence against him. People go out drinking when the weather's nice, and unfortunately that means because there's more people out doing that, there's more people then that get tempted to drive home.
Drinking drunk drivers on a nice bank holiday weekend. No regard for anybody else or themselves.
On this spring bank holiday weekend, Derbyshire police dealt with hundreds of incidents linked to drugs or alcohol.
One thing I never understand is how people don't see the effects of what drink driving is. If you drink and drive and the worst thing happens, as in you kill somebody because you're drunk behind the wheel of a car, then you will go to prison. You will lose your licence. And it's not just the family of the deceased that are affected, it's your family. You're a drink driver, you're convicted, you get sent to prison, your name's all in the paper and whatnot. So that affects everybody you know. And you're the one that's caused it, you're the drink driver, and that'll affect you for the rest of your life.
In this episode,
He's now overtaking wrong side of the road. He's collided.
the disqualified driver who drove his car into a field to get away from officers.
That's some of the worst driving I've ever seen.
Pleaded guilty to drink driving, dangerous driving, and driving without insurance.
He's gone through that fence.
Yeah.
There.
He was sentenced to 12 months in prison.
Come here, mate. I'm not finished with you, pal.
The man who tried to run away from the cops
Ain't got nothing. Put your face down.
to avoid taking a drug wipe
It's tested positive for cocaine.
has been released under investigation whilst police await the results of his blood test. He's also been reported for driving without a licence or insurance. If found guilty, he could be facing a lengthy driving ban.
Yeah, I've got him to follow today, reporting he's absolute shit-faced.
The weaving driver who traffic cop Andy arrested
You've blown 112 and 116, the legal limit being 35.
was found guilty of drink driving and has been disqualified for 22 months and issued with a curfew, a tag and a community order.
It's a bank holiday, mate. I'm going to be drunk.
The man who admitted being drunk but claimed he hadn't been driving his car
I have done nothing wrong.
was identified via an identity parade by a witness and is due to appear at court on suspicion of drink driving and failing to stop at an accident.
Okay, well, I followed you.
And the suspect who claims she wasn't driving after a night out
I've not driven my car since that.
I know you're lying, so...
pleaded guilty to failing to provide and was disqualified from driving for 17 months and ordered to carry out 60 hours